Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 23rd of June. I'm Gary Peer.
And I'm Phillip Kingston, and I'm smiling big time, not just because we've had the most amazing real estate week, but Gary elected to do the introduction this morning, and that was so lame.
You're just jealous.
It was lame. It was so
strong. It had punch.
It was so artificial.
It was the best performance
So
of my
fake.
career, GPTV career. Phillip, we have had a massive week, but real estate aside, something's happened. I haven't even briefed you that I'm going to talk about this, but something's happened this week.
This show is unscripted.
Absolutely, because we're not.
I've got no idea what he's
We're
going
not
to say.
smart enough to. Okay, well, something's happened that is so remote and so unlikely. It's like winning the lottery.
Okay. Has it got anything to do with real estate?
The moon, the stars, the planets are all in alignment because both of our footy teams won on the weekend.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That is crazy to have the Carlton Football Club win and the Melbourne Football Club win on the same weekend.
What's the chances of that? The chances
Seriously.
of that are very remote.
The odds are low.
Special shout out, my sister's birthday, Sarah, yesterday.
Birthday, Sarah.
And special shout out
Today, Adam Josky.
Adam Josky.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Adam. And we wish you a very, very wonderful real estate year ahead. Phil, talking about wonderful real estate, how about the weekend? The clearance rate was?
Clearance rate with our office.
Yeah, I caught him on the hop. I love it.
Yeah. I know that we had a very successful weekend and the industry had a very successful weekend, but I can't remember what it was.
Fair enough. We're going to get the graph of the industry and put it up there, Phil, but we were 85%, which I know was better than the industry average, Philip, which will be by the time we get to air on the tower. That will be smaller than our tower because 85% was a wonderful, wonderful effort. And we sold how many from how many, Adam, over there in the corner? 11 out of 13, Philip. That is a very, very good weekend. We can't review all of the sales though, Philip, but we can whip through some of them. We started off in Malvern Road, Malvern. We didn't sell that, but the Samuel boys have said, can you please make sure you put it on GPTV because it has a very attractive asking price.
Good property that too. Yeah,
I think it's a very attractive property and well priced, Philip.
Yep.
So that one will sell. 24 Satin Street, Phil. Now that's a very interesting auction and an interesting auction story because it was auctioned exactly or just a little bit more than 2 years ago, Philip. The vendors were hoping to get something just over $1 million. This time the reserve was just a little bit over our range and we quoted 1 to 1.1.
Yes.
The price is undisclosed, but the reserve was just a little bit over the range and it sold for many hundreds of thousands of dollars in excess of that.
That was an amazing result, Gary. We held that auction inside because it was very cold
exciting.
On Saturday. We're doing a lot of inside auctions and quite frankly, viewers, if I have a choice these days between holding an auction inside or outside, I'll do it inside every time. I'm a big fan of the inside auction.
2B Linda Street, Philip, that was sold on the weekend. Now that's a historical sale because there haven't been many semi-detached homes that have reached the price this reached, Philip. The quote range was in the 700 to 800 range, a little bit higher. The reserve was a little bit over that. We did think we'd get good competition. There was another auction sold in the area beforehand.
I happened to be at that auction, Gary.
Right?
Yeah, in Jupiter Street.
Jupiter Street sold for $896 or something like that, or $880.
I left before it ended,
sold for something like
but
that.
It didn't get anywhere near what we got.
I can't remember exactly what it got, but we had a comparable property. We thought, anyway, lo and behold, Philip, it sold for a new record price of $1,100,000. Philip, I did have the pleasure of joining you in Glen Iris. Now, some people say, because we don't sell a lot in Glen Iris, so I say we may not sell the most, but I say we sell the best. And I think there is proof of that now because this auction was very exciting. There were a few other agents involved in the pitch for the business, Philip.
Gary,
mention who?
That was a property that was very close to my heart because these are people that I knew very well, and it was out of us choosing Gary Peer and Associates and 2 local agencies, both of whom are very, very professional, very competent. We managed to get the job, and that's when the pressure started for us because you know when you pitch for a job like that, you've got to be able to follow through.
And the common appraisal was around about what figure?
All thinking high 2s. Wouldn't it be good to see something with a 3 in front of it?
And that was what the vendor was hoping for?
Correct. So 3 was really the reserve price for the day, Gary. We held that auction inside, huge crowd inside, must have had 120 people inside at least. And we sold that for $3 million.
No, we're not going to say the figure yet, Phil, because we're going to actually show, we have got footage of this, we're going to show the footage of the last moments of the auction. Check it out.
Got you, just him. Okay. 3 million. Well, thank you for being here. 3,650,000. All finished. All silent. All done. Definitely out, sir. Are you definitely out? Definitely out, Judy. 3,650,000. Thank you for your competition today, and thank you, sir, for starting the auction at $3,650,000. Finished, silent, done. Going. sold, ladies and gentlemen.
How about that, Phillip?
Gary.
3,650,000. Who would have thought or expected?
It was just unbelievable. I mean, it was an unbelievable result.
And the crowd of people there, I mean, Adam did take a bit of footage there, it was very good, but the crowd of people behind him and around in the hallway, the house was chock-a-block full, and what an exciting auction, and $650,000 over reserve. The first bid, Phillip, was in excess of the reserve price, so what an exciting result. So that's a very big
first
Saturday.
bid certainly took the pressure off. I think the first bid was $3,010,000.
Did, yeah.
So first bid took the pressure off, and I thought, well, from here, it's just a matter of how much.
Peaches and cream, as they say, Phillip. It all happened, and it all happened on Sunday as well. A very busy day, lots of great results, some record prices, and some exciting auctions.
Gary, Sunday was out of control.
Yeah, it was. It's
really,
a frenzy. It's a market of fever pitch and frenzy.
It was a tidal wave yesterday.
It was.
Because I said, I got up in the morning and said to Irene, I've got a big day ahead.
Yes.
I had a 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30 auction. But normally I get a bit of a gap between the auctions. I can knock them down, sell them. The guys do the paperwork. The team gets all of that paperwork side done. And I nick off to a cafe somewhere, get an espresso in between auctions. I did not stop from 10:30 to 4:30.
I got home at 4:30 and I thought I haven't eaten today at all. So not one thing, not that I'm fading away, but
certainly not, Gary.
Thanks for that, Phil, and thanks for that endorsement. But it was the most exciting auction, and I got to tell you, I started off my day at 190 Hotham Street, Elsternwick. Check out this property, Phillip. A very, very exciting auction, an exciting campaign. Now, I don't know whether you've had more bidders than this, Phil, but I had 11 separate bidders
that's
bidding
a record.
at this
That's a
property.
record.
I think it's a record. And someone else there was at the auction who actually bought Satin Street, and they said that they thought there were 13, but I was pretty sure I didn't miss any. Maybe there's another couple of buyers.
Do you go with 13, Gary? It's
no,
a much better story.
I did count 11 bidders, Phillip, and it was the most extraordinary auction. The reserve there, again, was at $1.1 million, the selling price. $1,290,000 with absolute intense competition, and it was the most exciting, fun auction. Loved every minute of it, Phil. One property that I did see you at, Phillip, was in Allison Road, and that was an interesting auction as well. It was passed in.
Do you know what? That's a great real estate story. Viewers, one of the things that we do at all of our auctions, if you come to our auctions, you'll always see a strong presence of Gary Peer and Associates salespeople. We have anywhere from 4 really to sometimes 10 salespeople at our auctions. One of the reasons we do that is that strategically, if we pass the property in, we're able to negotiate and conduct post-auction negotiations, and sometimes post-auction auctions, which is really effectively what happened at Allison Road. We passed the property into a buyer at $1,800,000.
Yes, the price is undisclosed, the final price, Phil.
We were able to inject 2 other parties into a post-auction auction, so we essentially had an auction going between 3 parties. We're not allowed to mention the price at all?
We certainly took the price range because the vendor was hoping to get in and around $2 million, and we did sell for over that.
In excess.
Yes.
So we've essentially gone from a pass-in price of $1,800,000 to well in excess of I can't say well in excess of $2 million, but I just did say it.
You did.
So price is undisclosed, but that is Gary Peer and Associates at its finest, because everybody knows that we run great auctions.
We do, Phil.
But it's the post-auction negotiations that I think that we show our true value.
And that's the skill that so many people don't get to see, Phillip, because it is all done behind closed doors, and from the public's point of view, you just see all these real estate agents shuffling around in suits and sort of walking around just looking very busy, but the reality is there is stuff that does go on, Phillip. Phillip, I want to talk about this property in Ludbrook Avenue. This was an extraordinary auction. We did have a reserve here at $685,000. We were expecting interest in and around that $600,000 to $700,000. Leo Samuel did a fine job together with his brother Viv here, and it sold for, wait for it, $850,500.
Wow.
So we're talking about, you know, almost $200,000 over. Incredible. Kind of where we thought it might be. 15% over, or 15% over reserve, 20% over reserve. 20%.
Market's gone ballistic, Gary. Let's not talk about every auction.
We've got
just a couple more highlights. What are they?
Review.
Okay.
We'll talk about Kent Grove, Phillip. Price is undisclosed there, so we can't say. But again, an incredible auction. A house that was for sale sort of quietly for a long time, and with a number of agents as well. I don't mind saying, Phil, but that one sold.
Price is undisclosed, but are we allowed to say how much it sold over the reserve?
Well, I think we can. Yeah,
okay.
I think we
can. So sold almost $400,000 over the reserve.
That was incredible.
That was extraordinary.
Extraordinary. Congratulations to the vendors.
Yeah,
also,
great people.
a vendor who actually was in the real estate game himself. So, and a delightful couple. Well done to them. They've got a lovely family and a lovely dog, shaggy white dog. Phillip, 60 Balaclava Road. That one.
The shaggy white dog.
It has. They walk the shaggy white dog.
And that's how people know that this show's unscripted. Because why would you bother talking about this shaggy white dog?
Because the vendor walks the dog around. I see it, and he's very proud of it. So I know it'll
Fair
warm
enough.
his heart to bring the
Fair
dog
enough. Well, a
into the
special
process.
shout out to the shaggy white dog that probably has a name, but I don't.
We'll bring it up next week. But I know the vendor watches the show, so there you go. That's
Okay.
why I thought I'll bring everybody
All right,
in, Phillip.
Gary, we moved on from there to number 60 Balaclava Road, which was, I think, the most extraordinary result.
Yeah,
Extraordinary
I drove
result.
home and I thought, this can't be true, I'm dreaming, because the vendor had a dream price that was so over the top, we thought, well, that's great, but we won't get that. But lo and behold, Phillip, it's undisclosed, but it got hundreds of thousands over the vendor's dream price, and we're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands.
If only we
over
could
the
talk
reserve.
publicly about this result, because it was extraordinary.
Incredible. So if you find someone that was at that auction, ask them what it
There
sold
were
for.
150 people there, and if you want their names, we can give you their names so you can ring them to get the result, but we can't tell you.
We can't tell you, Phillip,
But it was
because we are
unbelievable.
We are respectful of people's wishes of confidentiality, but understand, viewers, it's not our wish, but they are the wishes of our clients. Now,
Gary, that's
how
a wrap
about
of the
this place?
weekend.
How about this place?
Let's talk about this house.
Well, this is like a life in the Playboy Mansion, isn't it? This is the most incredible, and I don't say that disrespectfully or because it is a magnificent. It's just the finishes and fittings. It's just sexy.
First of all, we are in Alma
sexy real
Road.
estate, yes,
We're at
we
Alma
are.
Road at number
93 and 93A Alma
So we've
Road.
got two. We've got two properties. We've got
It is
a.
93,
We've got. We've got
93A and 93A2 and
Okay,
93A1.
so we've got a prompter over here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam. We've
Adam
got
Hakel is
we've
a
got
good
an
man.
older style property at the
Yes.
front, a kind of Spanish mission style property
have.
that has been transformed.
No one expects a Spanish mission style to be transformed like this.
And then you've got this new property at the back.
Yes.
I've never seen anything like it. It is nothing short of extraordinary. It is, and keep in mind, we've been doing this for 30 years. We've seen every property under the sun, every architectural type. But I've walked in here and I'm looking around and I'm going, this is awe-inspiring. Viewers, can we suggest, if you're not looking for a property, it's fine. Just come and have a look at this property, because it's not often that our breath gets taken away, and it has been taken away.
Now,
here.
Alex, our cameraman, is now walking through, showing us some beautiful images. Have a look at this, Phillip. The living area is sensational. Bedroom's incredible. How about this basement? Have you ever seen anything so extravagant and magnificent as that? And look at the bathroom and this magnificent Balinese external garden setting that we get to have a shower and look out into, Phillip. So thank you for
Gary,
those extra
the
shots.
owner of
It
this
is
property
magnificent.
has thought of everything. There's even one of those electric turntables.
Yes.
So you reverse your car out of the garage, you stop on the turntable, and it turns your car so that you can go straight down the drive without having to turn around. I've got to tell you, how good's that? I'd love one of those.
So would I.
I'd love one of those in my lounge room.
Yeah,
so,
I
you know,
would
if
too,
I wanted to get up and make a cup of tea, I wouldn't have to turn myself. I
even
could
in the
just
bedroom.
press a button.
Even in the
I
bedroom.
just turn like that.
Under the bed, you could turn the bed around, then have an eject, go straight into the ensuite. Phillip, this one goes to auction.
That's just silly.
On July. Oh, because the lounge room was brilliant, wasn't it?
Well,
this one goes.
It was more realistic.
Well, it wasn't clever though. I was just making it clever by covering.
Mark my words, somebody will put a turntable in their lounge room at some point.
If you've got a turntable in your lounge room or your bedroom,
please give
let
us a call.
know. And that includes you, Austin Powers, because remember he had a bed that turned around. July the 12th, Phillip, this one goes up at 1:30 and 2 o'clock. There are two for sale here, Phillip, and I haven't met the vendor, but I've heard the vendor is a man of great class and quality, and would have to be, Phillip, because you'd have to
This property's extraordinary.
to be able to create something as magnificent as this. Now, we've got another weekend ahead, Phillip.
Yep, let's
and
talk about
we
the
only have
weekend
8
that's
auctions,
coming up.
so we can review
8?
them all.
Yep.
Shall we do that?
Very light weekend.
Let's do it. Phillip, we start off on Saturday morning. Jeremy Rosens has auction honours in Caulfield North at 10:30. This wonderful property that Lamore Herskovitz is handling in Hudson Street.
Absolutely, Gary. This is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1-car space apartment. Great buying there. You and I have both owned property in Hudson Street, 1-bedroom apartments, and we did very well from them. So we have first-hand experience in buying in Hudson Street and making money.
First investment we ever bought for ourselves, Phillip, was right next door to that, so we can recommend it. In Carnegie, Phillip, we love it there. Leor Samuel has the 11:30 auction honours at 16 Huntingfield Court.
Gary, Gary, I did the Carnegie report with Lior there, and I've had a look through this home. This home is stunning. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, double lock-up garage, and the most magnificent pool and cabana. That house is just fabulous.
You will not be able to attend that auction, unfortunately, Philip, because you are going to be in Eastern Kilda in the Avenue. Now, there are some exceptional apartments that you see from time to time. Yep. This is one of them, 7 at 36 the Avenue. Take us through this.
Gary, have a look at the deck on this apartment. The deck is just incredible. This is 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom and 1 secure car space. And that, I think that building was completely rebuilt. It's virtually a brand new building done by some developers that do a really good job. But that deck that it's got is a real standout feature.
Very cool, and the doors open wide to it, Philip. It's got a great feeling of space and
light. You can
light.
almost see the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Opera House from there. The views are so expansive.
Do you really think so, Philip?
Okay. There is a lawyer watching this. Yes. That's just a feeble attempt at humour. It's not a warranty or guarantee.
You are right. You are right. It was feeble. Philip, at 12:30, we're in Hawthorne Road, 401 Hawthorne Road. That brings down Saturday, and it's an early finish, isn't it? 12:30. You won't know what to do with yourself.
I really like this property. It's got the most incredible facade, beautifully renovated throughout, fabulous back garden, 2 or 3 bedrooms, and what a great position it is there.
It's very cool, Phil. This is a very affordable home, and actually from the outside it looks attractive but modest, but it's been beautifully done inside. Yep. And you know, when you think about
inside, Gary.
When you think about this, it's sort of 640 to 700 in that sort of price range, the price of an apartment.
Yep.
I reckon that's a fantastic buy for someone.
And I reckon you know what you're talking about, Gary.
I'd like to think so.
Because you've been doing this a while, and you do have a rather good reputation.
Getting the hang of the real estate thing, Phil. On Sunday morning, we are in Denman Avenue. Now that is a prestigious address, Phil.
Denman, the top half dozen streets of St Kilda East. Yep. That is a fabulous property.
Now this is an interesting home, Phil. It's a semi-detached home, but it's actually a real, true, spacious family home in terms of size, and it has got at the back a separate dwelling as well, Philip. Well, even though it's all on the same title, it's like I guess you could say it could be a sleep out, bungalow, studio, teenage accommodation, in-laws,
home office.
It could be lots of purposes.
So we've got as many as 6 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, off-street car parking for 2 cars, Gary. So that's a beauty.
Been a lot of interest there. Leon Guzenfeder handles that one. Philip's going up for auction at 11:30 a.m. and you are conducting the auction, as you are, in Narrong Road, one of our favourite streets in Caulfield North.
It is, Gary. I love Narrong Road. I love the fact that it's got Hawthorne Road at one end and Caulfield Park, walking distance to shops, public transport, parkland, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, off-street car parking for a couple of cars. That is a great opportunity to get dead centre Caulfield.
At 1:30, Philip, we've got a very large apartment. Jeremy Rosens is auctioning it, and it is in Hotham Street, 18 at 55 Hotham Street, St Kilda East. Take us through this one quickly.
Gary, what a great property. 2 or 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, polished timber floorboards, white walls, and a very schmick looking building from the outside, Gary. That style of architecture is certainly the flavour of the decade.
At 1:30, Philip, you are bringing down the curtain. I have said that before.
I know, that now. And that's old-fashioned and lame. Bringing down the curtain.
You like 2 weeks ago. You liked it. We should flash back to GP. 2 weeks ago. We're
not flashing back. Bringing down the curtain. That's like that's a scene from the 30s and 40s going to musicals at the Astor Theatre.
You're a very moody fellow, Philip. We are finishing off our day.
I am moody.
A bit moody.
Moody is what makes me interesting, Gary.
Yes,
Philip Moody Kingston.
Edgy, moody, and erratic. We're selling this property.
I've been described as enigmatic as well, Gary.
Yes, I don't know whether that's a compliment or not, but this auction is a compliment to our company to have it, Philip, because it's in a block that we've sold a number of apartments.
We have, Gary.
And there's not many left. In fact, this is one of the dwindling numbers, Philip.
Congratulations to the developer of this property on the corner of Glen Ira Road and Park Street. A fabulous address. This is 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and proper basement car parking via way of on-grade car parking, Gary.
With a lift, Phil?
Not stackers.
Yes.
So you've got security, you go drive your car down, you get into the lift, you come up to your beautiful apartment building. That is a great building, and I think there's going to be strong capital growth in this building because it's one of the better designed buildings on the market.
Couldn't agree with you more, Philip. The price range on this one from $495 to $550 is the range that we think there'll be interest.
Yep.
And that represents outstanding value for 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms in Elstonwick. And that brings a wrap to GPTV this week, Phillip, in a frenzied, hot, steamy market where we're selling sexy real estate like this.
Gary, this is the most incredible market I think we've worked in for decades. We're having fun. Certainly it's an exciting time in the real estate market, both in Melbourne and Sydney, and to some parts of Brisbane. The market's on fire as well. But long may this last, because this is adrenaline producing activity at the moment.
It is very exciting, and we will continue to keep our viewers up to date with all of the happenings in the world of real estate. I'm Gary Pearce.
I'm Phillip Kingston. Have a fantastic week.